What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Marcus Washington, and you're on the mark where we talk everything Falcons football. I know this is a late show. A lot of you guys are probably asleep, and that's okay. Y'all catch me on the rebound in the morning. I'm gonna try not to be long-winded tonight. Um, but yeah, a couple things rubbed me the wrong way today. Um, what's going on, RJ? What's happening? What's happening, Captain? Um, so yeah, I watched these press conferences earlier. A lot of the same old same, man. Raheem Morris just press conferences are actually, boring at this point. Zach Robinson again, smug. You know, neither one of these guys should have smiles on their faces. Neither one. You're 1-3. You just got blown out by a team who is terrible. For all intents and purposes, they're terrible. And they destroyed you. And your answer for that was to fire your wide receivers coach? Let me get this straight. We played so badly on offense. When you went back there and had your talks, you said, man, you know what? Somebody got to get under the blade for this, man. We couldn't score. We couldn't put points up. We just couldn't do nothing, man. We were just absolutely just terrible. Ike, you got to go. Ike probably looked behind him like, you can't be talking to me. You can't be talking to me. How am I fired? Your OC trash. Michael Penix did not play well. And here's how I can prove that Ike Hilliard was a scapegoat. I can prove this. So, Raheem and Zach Robinson told on themselves today. Raheem, they claim that it was performance-based, right? That's what they said. Performance-based. Riddle me this, Batman. Zach Robinson got up there and said both Darnell Mooney and Drake London are dealing with shoulder injuries. He also said that he's never seen Darnell Mooney call to be, taken out of the game so many times other than Sunday. He then said Darnell Mooney is basically getting his sea legs back. Casey Washington took a shot in week 1. So you mean to tell me that you got both your 1A and 1B receivers are dealing with shoulder injuries? One is just getting back into conditioning. And y'all fired the wide receiver coach? I'm like, I'm sorry, kiddo. I can't call in these plays. So instead of addressing the elephant in the room right now, which is the fact that your OC can't seem to put us in the end zone. He can't draw up plays to put us in the end zone. He just can't. The overuse of Bijan Robinson, which, again, we talked about last year. And it's such a problem. You had to bring your OC down to the sideline, which you're a year too late, by the way. You're a year too late, by the way. And I see people talking about, how they mentioned this, XYZ. And I had to go back and actually look at my video to see when I mentioned this. I challenge anybody to put up video where they said it before me. Hold on, man. Hold on for a second. My mic isn't out. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. My bad. So, Zach Robinson still has a job, and he'll still have one for a while. But I feel like this Washington game is a must win. You got throw it from the butt Mariota coming in. Throw it from the butt Mariota. You know, the same guy who pretty much quit your team. You got Dan Quinn, who got fired, coming back. I think they're without another player too. I think it's a wide receiver or something. They're out of. Bro, if you lose this game, what's the excuse? Now I hope we win this game. We should win this game. But then we should have beat Carolina too. This is what happens when you have no fucking identity. Your defense is developing an identity, which is cool. Again, I remember how many people were out on Jeff Ulbrich when Ulbrich came back. Now, revisionist history, everybody wanted him here. Some people were arguing, why are you bringing this retread back? He didn't help the Jets. Look at what he did there. Now you see this defense playing with its hair on fire, and everybody called it. Okay. We have no identity on offense. And the fact that Zach, it just has not registered with Zach Robinson yet. The fact that we play out of the pistol more than anybody in the league, it isn't even close. But you're fired. I bet you Ike was on fire when he found out he got fired. Y'all firing me? What the fuck did I do? Well, you know, man, we got to make a change, and we can't fire Zach Robinson. We got to let somebody go. So I think everybody is confused about this firing, because I can almost guarantee you there isn't a single one of us Sunday that was ranting and raving and goddamn losing their mind about how bad this offense was. And we came out our mouth and said, you know what? It's time for us to get rid of our wide receiver coach. Boy, if there's anybody out there that said that, my guy, you need to play the lottery. I didn't even think about our wide receiving coach Sunday. So when I get the ping, Falcons fire, I'm like, oh, I saw Falcons fire offensive coach. I'm like, bro, they got rid of him. Man, then I clicked on it and I'm like, who? Bro. There's doing things wrong, and then there's us. So we'll see how this offense looks now that Zach's pretty much out of excuses. They blame the headsets without blaming the headsets. But I saw in the fourth quarter where we were taking our sweet ass time getting these plays in. Headsets were working in. Work week 1, 2. Week 2, were they hollering about headsets week 2 when they was running the play clock all the way down to 2? So, I'm not blaming the headsets, but the headsets went out. So you're blaming the headsets. While I'm watching, I'm screaming at the TV, get the goddamn play off. We're constantly in situations where it's 3 seconds to hike the ball. Called this week 1, 2. Jeffrey says, I remember you predicted us to lose to the Vikings, but who would have thought we would dominate them and get shut? Yeah, yeah. I did not see us getting smoked by Carolina. I ain't put that on my bingo card, fam. I thought we was gonna dog walk. I thought we was gonna dog walk Carolina. But then again, you got to be cautious at who our OC is. Now he may come down. He may come down and be on the sideline, and the offense is okay. I hope that's the case. I actually pray that's the case. I just think that Zach Robinson, like Raheem Morris, they're in over their heads. So, again, press conferences, they were boring. I like how they grilled Zach Robinson on the pistol, but they mentioned nothing. They didn't. I think they asked Raheem Morris the last question they asked him about that. But he didn't get any questions thrown his way about Zach Robinson. And I don't know. I believe Zach is an avid smoker of the grass. But you lose to Washington. You 1-3. Going nowhere fast. And then we got to start talking about whose head's going to roll. I know people say, man, it's too early to be calling for people's jobs. Sports is the only place where you can say that, though. Our regular 9-to-5s. People get fired all the time. Your manager doesn't say, man, you know what? We're going to wait till February. We going to give it till February. He's trash at his job. It's too early, though. It's too early. Boy, these jobs will fire you and go into their applications and start interviewing people. But for some reason, sports, you know a guy's trash, and we just got to hold on to him. That is so maddening to me. Well, you know, we got on track last year. Yeah, because Kirk Cousins started going ape shit. Tampa Bay twice. He went ape shit on Tampa Bay twice. I've been telling people, when you get guys like Bijan is bailing Zach Robinson out for real. Look at week 1. Look at how many plays we had to have to get in the end zone. And 2 of them came from just Michael Penix making a play because nothing was there. Against Minnesota, we weren't raving about the offense. We were raving about the defense. Mind you, in that game, we only scored 1 touchdown, and that was a gimme touchdown. So when you look at the fact that Zach is definitely on the hot seat right now. Now, do I think he should be fired? Listen, it's personal. Yeah. But are they going to fire him? No. Because sports is the only place where you can be incompetent and basically kidnap a check until you get so far behind the 8 ball, they have to fire you. We did the same thing last year with Jimmy Lake. I called for Jimmy Lake's job week 4. When people say it's still early, I called for it week 4. Had to go a whole entire season of that defense being absolute dog shit. Only to fire him anyway, by the way. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, you told us week 4 he was dog shit, but yeah, we had to go the whole entire season. We had to know for sure. This is Atlanta's problem. We sink and swim with mediocrity. Now, again, who knows? He can come down from the box and all of a sudden become a quarterback whisperer. Who knows? This is why this week is so important. But honestly, we're making a move that should have been made last year. This move should have been made. So that shows you how late Raheem is. And then when they asked Zach, was it preference? He tried to dodge the question like that was mandated. If it was his preference, he would have stayed in the box. They made that boy go down to the sidelines because they're noticing the same thing I'm noticing. Headset failing or not, it is taking entirely too fucking long for us to get to the line and make the damn play. But this whole casual, nonchalant, smiles on faces. Well, you know, it happens, guys. You know, you get games like this. Really? When's the last time we had one? Oh, it's been a while. So we don't always have games like this. And against Carolina, nonetheless. They acted like we got dusted like this by a superior team. The only people that had Carolina winning Sunday was Carolina fans. And some of them didn't have them winning. So for me, I'm sorry. The fact that it's just the nonchalantness of this goddamn coaching staff. And you wonder why the play on the field is like that. And these players are trying to be as nice as they can. Penix is basically saying, hey, man, I'm just doing what I'm told out there. That ain't a compliment to the OC. It's just a goddamn indictment. You got a guy whose specialty is throwing the deep ball. And you don't throw the deep ball. Similar to last year. You got a guy in Kirk Cousins that plays best off of play action. What do? Put him in the pistol. And then say, well, you know, the ankle. We played him a lot in pistol because of the ankle. What's the excuse for Penix then? Penix perfectly healthy in the pistol. And people know this play calling is straight predictable. We're not going to go down the field. There's a lot of the two single high safety where the safeties are on both ends and like, you ain't going to throw nothing deep. Dude, they've been doing this to Patrick Mahomes for like 2 years now. They did it to him all last year. They still managed to win games, go to the Super Bowl. Now, he got destroyed in the Super Bowl, but quite honestly, nobody was beating them. My point is, you can still throw against that type of defense. We don't even try. And people say, hey, man, it's the players. No, it's the scheme. He don't know how to run it. Well, Mark, we had a couple games last year where we scored 38. Again, a lot of that is on the players making plays. And on these run plays, we're just looking at Bijan just being a different type of beast. But even Bijan got to make 2 or 3 guys miss. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Am I optimistic? I'm tempered this week. My heart's telling me we should beat Washington. But again, I don't know what kind of product we're going to roll out on the field. I don't know. I'm not even worried about it defensively because we have a competent DC over there. It's this offense, bro. People are talking about we ain't scored a touchdown. We scored one touchdown in 2 weeks. Dude, we've scored 3 touchdowns total all season. That's the troublesome part about it. We can't get in the end zone. In this game, we weren't even in the red zone. This was a bad loss. It was so bad, y'all fired the wrong guy. That's how bad it was. It was so bad, y'all fired the wrong guy. I challenge somebody to show me anybody Sunday. I don't care if you're a Zach guy or not. Show me somebody that said, you know what, man, this wide receiver coach got to go. Boy, if they wanted to get anybody out of here with a quickness, special teams coach right there. Them boys wet the bed 2 out of 3 games we didn't play thus far. He still got his gig. But the wide receiver, what? Bruh, listen. I believe Ike might have wanted to shoot the fade one of these boys. That's why he got up out of here. But you can't fire him and say it's performance-based, and your OC comes out there and says he's dealing with 2 wide receivers that got shoulder injuries, and one is just getting back into game form. That's what you gave the wide receiver coach. How is that fair to Ike? How Ike lose his job, but Zach keep his? You gave the wide receiver coach, Drake London, who injured his shoulder week 1. And Darnell Mooney hasn't been healthy since last year. If y'all were really going to get rid of anybody, your strength and conditioning coach need to get up out the paint. But Zach Robinson is so cocky that after they fired that boy, that man came up there and said both Drake London and Darnell Mooney got shoulder injuries, and Darnell Mooney's getting back into game shape. So why'd y'all fire the wide receivers coach? Again, the Falcons pulled a Colt Seevers. They needed a fall guy. And the fact that Raheem, if they let go of Zach Robinson, that shows you the guys that Raheem picked were not good for this team. Because they got rid of Jimmy Lake last year. Remember, these are the 2 OC, these are 2 coordinators he brought in. One already gone. So if you got rid of Zach Robinson, what does that really say about you as a coach? These are the guys you brought in. But this is an important game coming up, fam. I'm telling you, this is an important game. And if we don't win this game, if we get smoked in this game, bro, I don't see how you justify it. I don't see how you justify it. Because to me, you're losing the fan base already. You're losing a lot of the fan base. We ain't even in week 5. We haven't even hit our bye yet. And you got fans already clocked out. Because they're exhausted. They're already exhausted. Because this is the same clown in a different suit. But the difference between Raheem and Arthur Smith, Raheem has no excuse. You didn't have to come in and really draft anybody on offense. That was done for you. Arthur Smith, when he came in, he had an aging quarterback on his way out. And that's another thing, too. Shout out to Tidy. I was on that pod a couple nights ago. And I made a statement about Matt Ryan. That's revision. People had a lot of revisionist history. When I said Matt Ryan, it's time for him to get up out of here, I caught a lot of slack. There was a goddamn civil war in that Facebook group. I called this about a year and a half, 2 years before he got up out of here. Ryan off the cliff. Ryan off the cliff. Oh man, no, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Matt Ryan deserves better. When he leaves us, he's gonna go to a team and win a Super Bowl. Everybody wasn't on the same accord with that. Them facts. But now all of a sudden, everybody knew Matt Ryan was off the cliff. No. There was a literal civil, what we called them Ryanites. There's a civil war in that group. I would love to be proven wrong in this case. I would love for Zach Robinson to come on the sideline and we start averaging 28 a game. I don't have a problem eating crow. I don't have a problem. I will do that all day long. We go on a 6-7 game winning streak and Zach is just out here just calling the right plays. Hey, I was dead wrong. Maybe that was the remedy. Him being on the sideline. But the problem is I called for this last year. I would love to be wrong, fam. We gonna see against Washington. My issue is we're taking too long to do average things. We can't even get the goddamn ball off in time. Delay a game, call a timeout. Out of the timeout, you get a delay a game. And it ain't the first time I've seen that happen, by the way. Yeah, I've seen teams do that, come out of a timeout, then get a delay a game. It's still fucked up. I don't care what team deals with that, but the problem with us is we're always down on the clock. 3 games, it just seems like, dude, you're down by 23 and we're still running the clock down. There's no sense of urgency. It's nothing. And you lucky these guys are professional, because I'm pretty sure Penix isn't really confident about your play calling. So hopefully, one thing I don't want to see is us have play clock issues against Washington. I don't want to see us going all the way down to 3 seconds to snap the fucking ball. You don't have an excuse now. Ain't nobody calling from the box. You right down there. These plays should be a clean handoff. But again, I think, Zach is going to live and die by this pistol. Going to live and die by it. And we just have to accept that as fans. This is what we got right now. I'm not happy about it, because we ain't putting up no fucking points. But this was kind of an issue early on last year. Scored 10 against Pittsburgh? what, 22 against the Eagles. Shit, that third game, I think it was like 17 or something like that. We put up 17 points. And then Kirk started lighting shit up. Then Kirk got hurt, lied about the injury, lost for a whole fucking month. OC apparently couldn't tell he was injured. Head coach couldn't apparently tell he was injured. Meanwhile, we're over here talking about we've never seen a drop-off like this from a quarterback ever. He's got to be hurt. Something got to be going on. Meanwhile, Kirk's saying he's completely healthy. Next thing we know, we look up, we're out of fucking playoffs. So the things that Penix was doing well in the final 3 games of the season, we've went away from. He threw the deep ball. Now, they'll probably contest. Darnell Mooney is getting back into game shape. Here's my problem. Y'all should have got a burner in the offseason. Y'all should have got a speedster in the offseason. You got a guy right now who's ready to get out of Miami. They going off the boy by the trade deadline. They're going to get up off of him. Atlanta can make that deal. But Atlanta ain't going to do that. And at this point, I listen, man, I'm one of those guys who I've campaigned for Terry Fontenot. I don't even think anything that's going on with this team now is Terry Fontenot's fault. Terry ain't calling these plays. And again, Penix did not have a good game. He didn't. But you got to let that boy do what y'all brought him in to do. That's all I'm saying. No deep shots? Huh? Man, listen, honestly, I'm going to keep it a stack with you. Our first play from the line needs to be a deep shot. Our first play from scrimmage needs to be a deep ball. I don't care if it's a completion or not, because these teams ain't even expecting you to throw the ball deep no more. And another thing I did not like about what Zach says, he's calling his offense contingent on what the defense is going to give him. Bro, you are ass backwards. You force this defense to defend you, not the other way around. Imagine Philly at the 1 yard line. And their offensive coach just says, you know what? We're going to call a play. Whatever the defense is going to dictate what we call. No. Listen, the Eagles get on the 1. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Hands on cheeks. They dictate what's happening. Y'all know it. 4th and 1? Oh, cool. All right. Y'all know what we're about to do. Hands on cheeks. They don't even try to disguise it. A 4th and 1, forget about it. Tush push. Stop it. But what you saying is, y'all look at it. Fuck that, man. And fam, again, I would love to come on this pod 3 weeks from now and say, man, you know what? Man, I might be dead wrong about Zach, man. Since he's been on the sideline, man, Zach been lighting it up. I would love to be that way. I would love to. Because that means we're winning. But it's so bad that the majority of us don't even think that's going to help. And some people will be like, man, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know, this is mad. Y'all act like this is Madden, da-da-da-da-da-da. Football players play Madden, first off. Madden is a simulation. But where do you think they got these plays from on Madden? It's just curious. Cam Newton be going live playing Madden and can call all this shit while he's playing it. That's a MVP quarterback playing Madden. Now, it's a trash simulation. Don't get me wrong. I don't play Madden. But when you have people that played the game basically saying the same shit you saying, yes, it's no longer about Madden. Those are guys that played the game saying that, hey, listen, he don't know how to call plays out of this game. Guys that played the game. Now, again, we'll see. I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn gonna want to come back here and put on a show. I'm pretty sure Throw It From the Butt Mariota is gonna want to exact some type of revenge. I don't want to be sitting there after the game saying Atlanta always lets guys do this to us. They always come back. They always put on a show. Now I think Marcus Mariota is going to struggle if he's playing. You already know what Dan Quinn's coming with. Heavy blitz. This is where Zach Robinson needs to make his bones. Some of these defensive coordinators, they're predictable too. Some of these guys are blitz happy. So you have to draw up plays to combat that. And again, if you find yourself in man coverage and they're sending, throw it the fuck down the field. Take a shot. And that's the thing I'm a little irritated about. Like, you might catch it, you might not. But at the same time, you might get a PI. That happens all the time. Corner safety gets paranoid, starts grabbing shit. Because they're taught not to get beat. They'll take the penalty to avoid the touchdown. But we got to start making some plays downfield, man. And we'll see, because again, you really can't afford to lose. You really can't, to be honest. You really can't. Because if you think the talk is on Zach, you lose this game, the talk on you, Raheem. Especially if the offense comes out and just looks pedestrian. And that's why I think that this firing of Ike Hill, it makes no sense. If you end up firing Zach Robinson, it made no sense to fire Ike. None. Absolutely none. Everybody knows he's a Colt Seevers. He's a fall guy. Everybody knows this. Y'all leaving terrible off the field. If Zach wasn't going to get no paperwork, Ike shouldn't have got no paperwork. Because again, nobody was calling for Ike's head Sunday. Fam, I kid you not. I wasn't even thinking about the wide receiver coach Sunday. I wasn't even thinking about him. And performance, you can't call it performance-based when your OC comes out here and says, I got 2 wide receivers with shoulder injuries. If the OC can say that, how come Ike can't? So now Ike up out of the paint. Y'all can't blame him. Y'all got something to prove this weekend. Y'all got something to prove. After taking an ass whooping, like this is Raheem Morris is probably a good guy. Probably a guy you can, probably a fun guy you can have a beer with or some shit like that. You get thrashed like that and you out here you smiling. Nobody in the fan base is smiling. Man, if this team don't come out prepared to fight to the death to get this dub, we know where the stink comes from. That was, as a fan, that was embarrassing to watch. And it was hard to watch. You got dogs on defense. You got dogs on offense too. But I don't want to see no smugness. Raheem said in that press conference, D-Led asked him a question, and he said, finally, something I really want to talk about. That rubbed me the wrong way. Because you should want to talk about how we got our ass handed to us and how this ain't happening again. As a coach, I got to get on the blade. I take way too much pride. And that ain't going to happen again. Not on my watch. Raheem ain't built like that. Well, we got to execute. We had a good practice. We executed, but we got on the field. It just we just didn't execute. And then there was a lot of questions that were thrown, and he was like, well, special teams, with that knuckleball, we talked about how to prepare for that. And I'm like, talked about it? Did you motherfuckers not practice? Did y'all talk about it during practice? What we talking about here? Get they at line up special teams and practice on this. There's a lot of talking going on. Zach said the same shit. Was you coming down from the box to the sidelines? Is that your choice? Well, we've talked about it. We talked about it last year. This wasn't a talk. This was forced this week. So they didn't talk about it this week. You were told to come down to the sidelines. It's a lot of talking going on behind the scenes instead of doing. We talk about execution. We don't execute. I don't want to hear, like Kirby said in Dead Presidents, fuck a talk. I want to see this offense play with their hair on fire against Washington. I can take a loss. That's what a lot of people don't really. Well, most of you guys that have been rocking with me for a minute, y'all, I can take a loss. If our team goes out there and just plays as hard as they can, and we just lose to the better team, I can take that. I can take that. Man, you know, we went out there, man, we balled. They just got us at the end. I can't take 30-0 from Carolina. And in a stadium where they were selling tickets for $2 a couple years ago. Think about that. $2. You and 4 of your buddies can get in for $10. You lost there. That's unacceptable. But we're here now. So Washington, in my eyes, is a must-win. It's a must-win. You're already down 2 in the division. So you're going to have to beat Tampa. You're going to have to beat Carolina. You're going to have to sweep the Saints in order to even talk about getting it through the division. You're going to have to go undefeated in the division for the rest of the year. And you're going to have a winning record. Or we can even talk playoffs. Now, we won 8 games last year. That was 1 game better than the previous year, which was unacceptable, by the way. Seeing how you paid a quarterback $180 million, seeing how you got Bijan, seeing how you got Tank, seeing how you got Drake London, seeing how you signed Darnell Mooney. And then you got beat at the end of the season by the same team you shouldn't have lost to Sunday. So now my question is, from the coach, where's the pride? And this is why I say I think Raheem lost the locker room. Now you're firing the wrong folks. You don't think your players see that? They probably came in more confused than us. Hey, dog, they fired Ike today. Huh? Yeah, man, they let Ike go. Why? I don't know, man. They just said it was performance-based. So again, we gonna see what type of team comes out for Washington. Last year was a great game. Raheem lost us that game. So we gonna see. I think we should beat Washington. I don't think we're gonna walk the dog. No, because we didn't even walk the dog against Carolina. Dog was on the couch sleep the whole afternoon. So again, I need to see some sense of pride, some sense of urgency. All dog. And that does start with the coach. Look at what happened to Minnesota. You know, a couple teams. Look at what happened to Detroit. Detroit got embarrassed week 1. They've been walking dog since. So I'm like, man, I gotta see some pride from this team, man. Because, you know, a lot of us scratched our heads when we hired Raheem Morris. I definitely did. Belichick sitting right there. But I said, fuck it. This where we gonna go? Come the fuck on, man. Let's ride. Now I'm like, buddy, you lose to Washington. Your seat should be red hot. You should be on thin ice if we lose. And to me, I'm like, if y'all gonna rip this Band-Aid off, I'd prefer y'all rip it off right now than wait till the end of the season to do it, because I feel like you're wasting your fan base's time. I'm just gonna keep it 100. You're wasting our fucking time. If Raheem Morris goes the end of the season and y'all fire him in the offseason, my question is going to fucking be, why did you not just fire him during the season? Now, there is a possibility we can go on a run. My question to y'all is, how confident are y'all that we'll go on a run? We got the pieces, got the goddamn pieces to win games. And another thing I'm getting a little irritated about is every game is close. Let me look at the last time we walked the dog on a team. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Dallas last year. We were in complete control of that game, even though the score didn't really tell the tale. Okay, we walked the dog on the Giants too. Let me go here and look. So yeah, that was Michael Penix's first game, I think. We walked the dog on the Giants. Yeah, that was the last time we walked the dog, was on the Giants, 34-7. Yeah, in the Cowboys game, it was 27-21, but that's why I said that it doesn't really tell the story. You had Dak on the sideline saying we fucking suck. But that's every other game was fucking close, man. Well, we beat Carolina 38-20 the first meeting. But yeah, but for the most part, every game was nip and tuck, man. I'm getting a little tired of that shit too, because some of these games you should just be absolutely destroying these guys. On paper, you're a better team, but for whatever reason, we never get up to play these teams, and that's coaching. I don't care if you miss 2 field goals to start the game. That was the first fucking quarter? So Romo missed 2 field goals and that completely changed the trajectory of your offense? That's coaching. At the half, you were down 0-10. It's still a very winnable game. Now, it doesn't help that Mike went out there and threw that pick six. Defense did what they were supposed to do. But again, the defense clocked out in the fourth. I don't blame them. We give y'all the ball back. What the fuck y'all gonna do? It was one of those types of games. Man, if we get y'all the ball back, and special teams did get them the ball back. Offense was completely and utterly impotent. In a room full of prostitutes, we couldn't get hard. So it's an embarrassment to the organization. It's definitely an embarrassment to the fans because we got to wear this stuff, man. We've had to take a lot of smoke. I'm still taking smoke from that L. And it is what it is, man. It's ebbs and flows of it. I'm a diehard Falcons fan. Everybody knows this, so I'm a huge target when it comes to giving smoke. I'm not a casual. So I'm getting texts 2:00 in the morning. Hey man, y'all still getting that work. Keep pounding. And I ain't got shit. I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing. But Lisa, what's going on? What's going on with y'all? Let me get to some of these comments. Lisa says these last 7 years been rough. Yeah, man, they've been rough. We've been getting the wrong people in here. We've been getting the wrong people in here. When Arthur Smith came in here, he brought a defensive coordinator that was on the couch, was sitting on the couch. And oh man, listen, I'm not with keeping these guys a whole entire year when they're incompetent. That just ain't me. That isn't winning football to me. And then you get the crowd of, okay, well, if you're gonna fire him, who are you gonna put in his place? I don't give a fuck. If they're incompetent at their job, you put somebody there. This only works in sports. And particularly football. NBA gets coaches out of there all the time. I remember watching the Cavs get rid of a goddamn coach, and they had a winning season. Only in the NFL can a guy be sitting there and be trash, and the coach hesitates to get off of him. And again, it ain't just us. Happened in Pittsburgh. What, last year? Dude, there was a chant at a couple of those games. Fire, Matt Canada? The fans were calling for this. And they ended up getting rid of him. It ain't man, if we did this like the fans wanted to do it, man, everybody be fired. In the real world, that's what happens, my guy. In the real, at your job, when you go there tomorrow and somebody ain't cutting the mustard, they don't keep that person there for another fucking 12 months. If you ain't doing the job, they gonna find somebody to do it. Some of these jobs will get you out the paperwork way, and they'll just keep putting paperwork on you until they can fire you. But if you're incompetent in the real world, you're more than likely to lose your job. Most times. Not all the time, but most. The NFL, for whatever reason, bro. And then it's not like these guys get fired and stay fired. Oh, no. They get fired, get rehired somewhere else. Or what they're doing now, they'll fire these guys and then these guys will get a job in college. But it's just a constant, and listen, it might seem contradictory because it'd be like, well, Mark, you say that, but Zach Robinson is a first-time OC. They need to get a shot. Yeah. I'm all for giving a guy a shot. However, if you've never caught a single fucking play ever, you need to be behind somebody. That's not the guy. If I'm a head coach, I'm not coming in with 2 first-time guys. I might come in with 1, but I'm going to get some experience on the other side of the ball. Now, when you look at it, coming in with a A guy who's never called a defense and an offense is fucking wild. That's some wild shit. And the fact that Terry allowed that. Now, again, coach comes in, they're going to want their guys. But that's still some wild shit. Oh yeah, you woo and wowed us in the interview process. Who are you thinking about coming in? Who are you thinking about getting as your OC? Well, hear me out. So, when I was down in the Rams, I had a guy by the name of Zach Robinson. Who? Zach Robinson. He's he was on the staff. And has he ever called a play? No. But I'm telling you, he's a brilliant mind. And I want him to come in. I want to give him a shot at OC. Okay, who are you thinking about your DC? Another guy, Jimmy Lake. Who? Jimmy Lake, he staffed up, real good guy. I want to give him a shot too. You ever called a play defensively? No. Now this is the brass. They got to get under the bus for this one. Because if I'm Terry, I'm like, so you want to bring in a guy with zero experience on the NFL level, calling an offense, and another guy as your DC also doesn't have any experience. Yeah, we've talked about this, and I think I can coach him up. Bro, that's insane. So these guys are learning on the job. And this is a professional fucking football team. But again, this same brass hired Raheem Morris. I honestly want to know what Raheem said at that interview that blew everybody away. Now, he's a good bullshitter. We can tell by the press conferences. He's a good bullshitter. But the problem with a bullshitter is when you aren't showing progress. Eventually, that bullshit, we don't want to hear anymore. So when he comes to the press conference smiling after getting fucked by a team that had no business being in the bedroom. And first thing you talking about is executing. Well, we just didn't execute. We had a good 2 days of practice. I'm tired of that shit. If y'all had a good 2 days in practice, boy, this need to be some Full Metal Jacket shit this week. Some Paris Island shit. Ain't nobody getting no motherfucking sleep. Matter of fact, the minute y'all come out here, y'all just start running laps till I tell y'all to stop. Darnell Mooney, hey, listen. I know you got that shoulder. You can either play or you can't. And Tank, much as I love you, you'd be like Omar Epps in the program. You'll be walking around with that football all week because you should have caught that pass. Penix, hey, listen. It's your sixth game. You better not put that performance on back-to-back Sundays. And Zach, you down here on the field today. You'll be filling out applications next Sunday if that shit happens again. It seemed like Raheem don't even care about keeping his job. That's honestly what it feels like. Because, bruh, I ain't getting fired. And I would let them know that. Hey, listen, the last motherfucker that's gonna get fired is me. All y'all gonna be up out of here before I get fired. It seems like Raheem don't care. Raheem probably already know what's going to happen because he in too deep. So he bullshitted his way back into a head coaching gig. And the people, and again, it seems like I'm talking all doom and gloom. It could turn around. But y'all know I said this last year. It's either the NFC Championship game or Raheem got to go. And I'm all for us going on a run. I don't see it. Not right now. I have to see how this team comes out after an embarrassing loss like that. You should want to put Washington into the ground. Not a tight game. No, you should want to absolutely destroy this team. That's what good teams do. Teams that are coached up. They take an L like this, the next team got to pay for this. That's the type of coach I can get behind. This next team, they got to catch an ass whooping out of this world. Matter of fact, the next two teams. But this Washington, they got to get this work. This is one of those games where if we up by 20 in the fourth, I'm still putting it on them. But we'll see. I just don't think it's in Raheem Morris's character, man. He hasn't shown that. And again, I'd love to be wrong, fam. I would love to. Y'all know how much I love smoking on a pack? Y'all know this. I want to be on a Commander's pack. But my processing is this, man. You lose to Washington, I'm gonna start smoking on a Zach pack. So this team is really going to show us what they're made out of Sunday, man. I got all the confidence in the world with our team because our roster, as it's constructed, we should be winning games. We should be winning games. So I liked when Penix came. Penix said all the right things, man. You can't help but to like the kid, even after that performance. Because I think universally we all know those type of games happen. Those type of games happen to veterans. You have a game where you can't see shit. You know, you're just out of it. Now, I guess, what was it, Sunday? When I forgot who asked him, did they consider Kirk competing for the job? And he immediately shot that down. That was the best response Raheem has had in a while. Period. And I don't have a disagreement with him taking Penix out of the game. Penix just wasn't seeing it. So instead of bringing the kid out there, further damaging his confidence, or even worse, he go out there and get popped and get hurt, you put in Kirk Cousins. So I didn't have a problem with that at all. The game was already over. You put Kirk in, let him get his legs loose, and sit his ass back on the bench. But I'm interested in what game plan we're gonna run. To me, I'm gonna be honest, fam. That first play from scrimmage, I would be throwing it deep. I don't care what the formation is. They can be playing prevent on first down. I'm chucking that bitch down the field. First play. I'm establishing, even if it's caught, not caught, nothing. I'm establishing on the first play, we're trying you. But if we, on that first play, run that motherfucking clock down to 3 seconds, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind, bro. I am going to lose my mind. But no matter how it goes, if we go on a winning streak, that's fantastic. If we lose, we're just closer to getting Raheem and Zach out of here. So to me, it's kind of a win-win. I just, I hate that we would have to unfortunately sacrifice a season, especially when the offseason is getting so much longer these days. It seemed like football took like a year and a half to come back. But I'm not for us going on a losing streak and both these guys get to keep their jobs only to get fired at the end of the season. That doesn't make any sense to me. But it is what it is. And on that note, man, shout out to Ike, man. He was the wrong guy to get fired. No, honestly, nobody should have got fired this week. I knew they weren't going to fire Zach Robinson, but I still called for his job. But I knew he wasn't going to get fired. Ike definitely shouldn't have got fired. I don't know if that was a call from the front office that somebody had to go. And they just landed on him. But, to fire that man for the performance that we put on Sunday is diabolical. That is absolutely diabolical. Now, some of the things that I think we can do before I get out of here on offense, I've been calling for both these running backs to be in at the same time. You can definitely keep a defense on its toes when you got both Tank and Bijan out there. Some hurry up. Get your quarterback, get your young quarterback in a lot of positive plays. Even if it's a wide receiver screen and it gains like two yards. That's a completion. But definitely one of my first things would, hey, listen, line up. I'm putting Darnell in a vertical. Go down the field with it. And I'll take what comes with that. I'll take that. Because it's showing me y'all are trying something different. This same predictable shit. If you're in a shotgun, you pass 90% of the time. You showing your hand. And the fact is Zach don't even know this. These defenses are even Carolina. They have guys that are sophisticated enough to know what you like to call. So mix it up a little bit. Have Tank come in. I'd honestly, and I know he's not going to do this, but I'd like Tank to come in for that first series. You have to do something different. You have to do something creative. The defense ain't going to be expecting Tank. They're expecting Bijan all day long on that first series. Bring Tank in for that first series. That's something they probably haven't even planned on. Throw them off schedule a bit. But you gotta do something different because I don't even think this offense he's calling is vanilla anymore. I just think it's Tecmo Bowl. But whatever it is, man, we got to get this win by hook or crook. By hook or crook, we got to get this win. It's going to be interesting to watch. I know I'm going to be anticipating how this team responds. It's not going to be a good sign if they come out playing flat. I want them to come out and be as aggressive as they can. Because you get a win, your fan base happy for the week. I'm gonna be smoking on the Commanders pack. Y'all know I'm gonna come in here talking heavy shit. If this offense comes out, puts up a 40 piece, I'm gonna come in here and give Zach credit. Hey, I ain't no hater. We come out, we play like our hair is on fire and absolutely destroy the Commanders. Okay, bought yourself another week. But I need to see that consistently. And I think the fan base is pretty much saying the same thing. We have to see consistency from this team. Not we're up 1 week, we're down another week. We're up 1 week, we're down 2 weeks. You know, it's very abusive to the fan base. But with that being said and done, fam, I am up out of here. We will be back Sunday. Hold on, let me see what time we play. Okay. Oh, I don't know why. Hold on, fam. I'm looking at something completely different on my screen. And I do want to see who the Commanders have out real quick. All right, so we play the 1 o'clock game. The Commanders are. All right. All right, so the Commanders got quite a few people out. All right, so right now, Jaden Daniels is limited with his knee. Von Miller. Okay, so this is who they have so far. They got their tight end, John Bates, Noah Brown, Percy Butler. This running back is a non-factor. He's out with the knee. Zach Ertz is out. Terry McLaurin. They got a defensive tackle. They got a tackle. Laramie Tunsil. He did not practice. They got a cornerback who's also limited, and they got they got 2 tight ends. He was full participation. So we are Casey Washington limited with a concussion. Kyle Pitts has a toe. James Pierce has a groin. DeMarco Hellams limited. Jamal Agnew, AJ Terrell did not practice. He probably won't play. Kadero Hodge, groin. Nate Carter, hamstring. So yeah, Washington has quite a few guys out. Dan the Man says is Mark. Man, I'm always starting, fam. Football is life to me on Sundays. I be up early in the morning. So yeah, man, Washington's coming in this game pretty banged up. And there's a possibility that Jaden Daniels might play. Dan Quinn might be safe with Jaden Daniels, because if he comes out there and injures anything, they're done for the season. So let me see what we got here. He says 9 hours ago, quarterback Daniels feels good with status up to the doctors. And that's a knee injury. I mean, he could play. But dude, I'm dealing with a knee injury right now, man. This shit's something else. But we gotta prepare, and I'm pretty sure Ulbrich has got that defense already preparing for Daniels to come in. Because Marcus Mariota, I mean, I hate to say anything bad about him, but he threw from the butt. I ain't never gonna forget that. That man threw from the butt. And I don't think this defense is gonna allow Marcus Mariota to get off. Now, he is dangerous with his legs. He's always been dangerous with his legs, but so is Jaden Daniels. So again, I think Ulbrich will have these boys ready to play against both these guys. But anyhow, fam, your boys up out of here. Y'all have a great night, early morning, and we will reconvene Sunday after the game. Peace.